And finally, to America, where Donald Trump is under fire again, after the man he sacked as head of the FBI essentially called him a liar 5 times in testimony to Congress.
I was honestly concerned that he might lie about the nature of our meeting, and so I thought it really important to document.
In his interview with Lester Holt on NBC, the president said, "I had dinner with him. He wanted to have dinner because he wanted to stay on." Is this an accurate statement?
No, sir.
Did you in any way initiate that dinner?
No. Those were lies, plain and simple.
Tough times ahead for the president. But in the meantime, one of his staunchest supporters, the notorious alt-right website Breitbart, is also deep in difficulty. Run until recently by Donald Trump's advisor, Steve Bannon, it's oft been accused of running fake news. And it's famous for headlines like this.
Birth control makes women unattractive and crazy.
And this.
Political correctness protects Muslim rape culture.
And this.
The solution to online harassment is simple. Women should log off.
Breitbart's first big problem is that its audience is deserting it, falling by more than half since the US election, according to ComScore, from almost 23 million to fewer than 11 million visitors a month. But an even bigger worry is that a social media campaign run by Sleeping Giants has made Breitbart's advertisers run for cover.
Sleeping Giants is dedicated to stopping racist, sexist, anti-Semitic and homophobic news sites by stopping their ad dollars. Because of programmatic ad buying, many companies don't even know they are appearing on these sites. We inform them and help them with advice on taking their ads down.
Sleeping Giants has now persuaded 2,200 companies in the US and Europe to stop their ads appearing on Breitbart. And according to America's Digiday, that boycott is having a massive impact.
Breitbart ads plummet nearly 90% in 3 months as Trump's troubles mount.
And remarkably, this dramatic fall in revenue also appears to have persuaded Breitbart to moderate its output. As the Washington Post reported last week,
The Clarion of the far right seems to be having second thoughts about how far right it wants to go. Breitbart News has lately been trimming back some of its more extreme elements.
long gone is Breitbart's driving force, Steve Bannon, who left last August. Also departed is Milo Yiannopoulos, forced out for apparently defending paedophilia. And gone too, says the Washington Post, are
Prominently displayed stories appealing to overt racial prejudice.
But now the once fiery website is also sacking staff who don't toe the moderate line. After the London attacks, Breitbart writer Katie McHugh tweeted,
"There would be no deadly terror attacks in the UK if Muslims didn't live there."
soon after which Breitbart showed her the door, prompting her to complain.
Breitbart News fired me for telling the truth about Islam and Muslim immigration.
McHugh's anger and bewilderment was shared by some of Breitbart's traditional supporters, who took to the net to protest.
Breitbart is truly dead. Now that Bannon and Milo are gone, it's clear that Breitbart News is being run by cucks.
And we have to agree it does seem pretty remarkable, given Breitbart's fiery history, that it considers McHugh's anti-Muslim tweet a sackable offence. Especially since in Australia, mainstream commentators now say similar things much of the time. Andrew Bolt, for example, says Australia must shut the gate completely on some Muslim countries.
Islam is different to other mainstream faiths. It does legitimise violence and it must be reformed, and until it's reformed, migration from jihadist countries must be stopped. It's time to speak up at last.
2GB's Alan Jones has also been calling for a ban on Muslim immigration, but he says we also need to take a much tougher line with Islamic terror suspects and lock up those on the watch list.
These people have got to be rounded up. And I don't really care if we've got to reverse the onus of proof, reverse the onus of proof. You're a person that we suspect could cause trouble in the past, in the future. We're going to round you up and leave you there. And at the end of the day, they'll get the message that we're serious.
Neither of them is in any danger of being sacked. And nor should they be. But it's interesting to note that even America's most outspoken conservative network, Fox News, felt the need last week to dissociate itself from similar calls for Muslim suspects to be interned.
Earlier on the show, we had a couple of guests mention the word internment, the idea of internment camps as a possible solution to this. I think I made it well known my feeling on that, which I find reprehensible. But on behalf of the network, I think all of us here find that idea reprehensible here at Fox News Channel. Just to be clear. No suggestions of that. Absolutely.
Yeah. Seems that the American and Australian media now draw the line on Muslims and terrorism in very different places. And you can read more about tonight's stories on our Facebook page or our website, where you can get a transcript, download the programme and read a response from News Corp's Escape. You can also catch up with us on iView and contact me or Media Watch on Twitter. And don't miss Media Bites every Thursday on Facebook, Twitter and our website, and also on iView. But for now, till next week, that's all from us. Goodbye.